All right, can you tell I just got back from Tennessee? All right. Pierce, why are you a day late on the podcast? I landed at 11 o'clock. All right. I'm still on kind of like, I don't have unlimited money. I can't get the best flight out of Tennessee. I landed at 11 o'clock. All right, give me a breather. Okay, give me a breather. But a little gassed, a little tired. But look, I just got to see the number one team in the country play. Got a lot to do. All right. Podcast, vlog, live stream, blog, big week. All right, I'm back, better than ever. Let's hit it. Welcome back to another Detroit Pierce podcast. All right, you know what? I just got done with positive vibes. I'm trying to be positive, but let's just talk to it. Let's just talk about it, okay? The Lions. You're up 21-3 at home. You're up 21-3 at home against Miami, and you still lose? Look, I'm a Dan Campbell believer. I love Dan Campbell. I think he's great. But I'm looking at Justin Fields, and I'm looking at Trevor Lawrence on Sunday, and there's obvious developmental. We're just taking. They're taking that. It's hard to take that next step for him. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, well, they got drafted by a coach that's not there anymore, right? They gave that coach one more year and a rookie quarterback, and now they're a second-year quarterback with a new coach. That's hard to do. And it's clear that Jared Goff isn't the future guy to take us to the Super Bowl, and his defense obviously isn't the future. I mean, we need a whole new defense. But we're going to have to draft a new quarterback. Why keep Dan Campbell when you know he's not the future either? Look, I love Dan. I think he's great, and I don't want him to be fired, but I'm starting to see some things here where it's like, you served your time, you did great, you helped us rebuild, you helped us get through this next part of our rebuild, you helped us get to this next chapter. Maybe it's time. I don't know. It just feels like it, you know? I just don't want to see what happened with Trevor Lawrence and with Justin Fields having two rookie seasons. I want to have the rookie season next year with Bryce Young. We have the offensive roster. We have the pieces for Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, to come into a system and have it work with Swift and with Williams and with St. Brown, and the best offensive line in the NFL. You have the system to make it work. Why? Why do we have to hang on? It kind of feels like the season's over. We're 1-7 now. 1-6. I'm already getting ahead of myself because of the Packers. And I don't see another win on our schedule. I just don't know. We fire the DB's coach. Okay, great. Fantastic. The defensive roster stinks, and we still have a lot of young talent trying to figure it out. Hutchinson, Rodrigo, Okuda, who's starting to figure it out this year. It's just like we're missing something here, guys. We're missing something. And to blow a 21-7, not 21-3, to blow a 21-7 lead at home, I don't care if you're playing the Bills. That's not good. That's not okay. That's not acceptable in the NFL. You got to win that game. It's hard. I just don't want to be that guy that is the first guy that wants to fire Dan Campbell, because he is a great guy. He's a great motivator. He represents the city of Detroit with his hard work and determination. I like Dan. I really do. But maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. I really do like him. Oh, God, I really don't want to see him go, but it might be time. Bryce Young's really good, by the way. He is. That's all I have to say about the Lions. It's just the same thing week over week over week. I want Bryce Young. We lost. The season's over. It kind of just feels like the same thing every week. I really like the roster. I really don't like the defensive roster. I like the offensive roster. The only thing I want to touch on real quick is there's trade rumors about trading Hawkinson. The trade deadline, I think, is the 9th of November. I'm kind of for it. I understand why. Get some picks. It's kind of his last year on his contract. He's a good tight end who can help out a couple of teams. You probably get a 4th, 5th rounder for him. And there's some tight ends that I kind of like in this draft. I just do it. It's okay. It's okay. I don't mind, honestly. Yeah, I was thinking about it on the flight here from Tennessee back to Phoenix, and I was just like, and it's just hard. It's just hard when you see Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence still struggling, and it's like, why don't we just why give Trevor Lawrence a whole new system to learn and then fire him and then give him a whole new system to learn? Obviously the Jags are a little different, but like, why Justin Fields, like, they knew that coach wasn't working. Then they fire him, and now they're in their second year of Justin Fields, and now he's starting to figure it out. It's like, why not just get rid of the coach when you can? It's kind of where I'm at. I don't know. It's just frustrating. I really like Dan. I really do, but it's not working. It's not working. You're a lot of fun to watch. You're a lot of fun to root for, and I think he's going to be great wherever he goes next, but it just hasn't worked. It's okay. That's okay. It's time to I kind of just want to move on and take on the next chapter. We've lost too many games. We're 1-6, and it hasn't changed. The culture, I could tell that we're working a lot harder than we used to with Patricia, and I think Patricia really damaged the Lions in a long-term way. But and I feel bad for Dan because he had to come into this role, but it's just time. It's time. All right, switch of teams. I've got the Red Wings on. I'm watching this during Monday night because, I've got to do this right before. It's 4:30 my time right now. Got to do this before trick-or-treating. Come on, guys. We got to hustle this podcast. Right now it's 0-0 against the Buffs with 7:24 to go. Look, big win against the Wild earlier this week. And we're kind of in this tough stretch. We lose to Boston. We beat Minnesota. Now we're playing Buffalo. Washington, Islanders, Rangers. This is a really big test for us. I think if we go 2-2-2, I think that can spur some positivity. I said that at the beginning. I think that we can make the playoffs. I think if we can do this stretch really well and go 2-2-2, get a lot of good points, get a couple wins, why can't we make the playoffs? Especially without Bertuzzi. I just think I'm just trying to be positive, and I think that's a possibility. But every single time I look at that Atlantic division, I think to myself, God, this division just gets harder and harder. It's one of the hardest divisions. Just the Red Wings give me the most hope out of all 4 Detroit teams, and I still believe that they can do it. I think they have the talent. I think they can do it. I think they can sneak into that 8 seed. It'll be tough. It'll be very tough. Live stream on Saturday afternoon with the Islanders game. We're going to be doing the third period for the Islanders game against the Red Wings. It's going to be in the afternoon. So the only one I can get in. I can't do it on Halloween. All right, Pistons. Big statement this week by them. Big statement. Big win against Golden State. 128-114. They've got they have an interesting stretch too. 2 road games against Milwaukee. And then they get Cleveland, who looks good this year. Looks like a good, solid team. I think that, I think they've proven throughout this year that they're still young and developing, and they're still trying to figure out their core nucleus and trying to figure it out. Obviously, they're not bad enough to get Wembanyama, but, they're not good enough to make the playoffs, not even in the play-in game. They're just not. They're not. All right? They're just not. Now, are they going to tank and try to get Wembanyama? No. But, hey, they show flashes of greatness by beating the Warriors. I think they can show a flash of greatness by going 1-2 this week. And I think they can beat Oklahoma City, which they play on November 7th. But there are things where I'm like, okay, this is working. Bogdanović gets a huge extension, which is great. He's earned it. He's the best player through the first 7 games. Why not? I just feel as though the Pistons starting to piece some things together. They're still molding together to be a good young core that can take it to the next level. I kind of like where we're going here. I'll be interested to see what the college basketball looks like this year. to see what we can get in like the late lottery pick, because I think that's kind of where we're going to be. I feel like we're going to be in like that 7 to 10 range. I'll be interested to see what we can get in that range. I'm feeling very positive, though. Very positive about the Pistons. I just think that Ivy Cade Cunningham connection is still working itself out, and I don't think that just happens overnight. I think that happens over a year and a half, which isn't what you want to hear, but I think it will work out in the end. All right. With all that being said, it's time for my favorite segment, the European Minute, and that starts now. Okay, Chelsea, big Chelsea fan. They lose to Brighton. Sucks. I mean, that just absolutely sucks. They just always figure out a way to lose those games. I don't know how they do it. It feels like they always lose to smaller clubs on the road. F1 was in Austin. Pretty boring race, honestly. I thought that Red Bull started from the softs and went to mediums, and I thought the mediums were going to die. And I think Mercedes thought the same thing. And they just wouldn't die. I just kept sitting there thinking they're gonna have to pit. They're gonna have to pit. Never happened. Kind of boring. Kind of just like the season. Meh. Who cares? MLS Cup is this Saturday. Philadelphia Union versus LAFC. Two best teams in the MLS clearly make it to the championship, which is always great when the MLS has that happen. I like LAFC over Philadelphia Union. I just don't want to see Philly. Philly, congrats. You have two teams in championships. I hope you both lose. Give me LAFC. And last thoughts, Lionel Messi to Inter Milan? Inter Miami? Kind of like it. Very interesting. And that's been your European Minute. Whew. Every week. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for me. It's a lot of work. All right, let's do a quick NFL rundown. Over in London, the Jags. If you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, okay, you get like one London game a year. How do you not win? That's your hometown. That's your home team. That's like this is a home game for you. And you get beat by the Broncos? The NFL gifted you when you still can't do it. Broncos country. Let's ride. I like Russell Wilson, baby. I think he's hilarious. I think the self-awareness of him not understanding that he actually sucks and that nobody likes him is quite funny. And I hope he just continues. I like how he's just like, yep, just keep it going. I love that about him. How about the NFC South? So the Panthers, if they would have won, Buffalo scored. That sucks. If the Panthers would have scored, if they would have won, which honestly they should have. DJ Moore taking off his helmet, dummy move, right? Like, what are you doing? But he's celebrating. I don't know. I kind of felt like the flag was, I don't know. That's up for your interpretation. I felt like the flag was a little bit interesting move. But if the Panthers would have won, they don't have a coach. They're using an interim head coach, and they would have had the NFC South come through Carolina. Who saw that coming? Now the NFC South is just laughably all over the place. Everybody's screwing each other up. Bucks stink. Carolina stinks, obviously. The Falcons have the greatest quarterback of all time. The Saints can't figure it out. What a division. Everybody thought that the Bucks were going to win with ease. But you forget about that pesky Marcus Mariota. My favorite quarterback in the NFL. Love Marcus Mariota. I love him. Vikings have finally figured it out, right? They're going to win the NFC North. They finally figured out how to be with Kirk Cousins. They finally figured this out, especially with Dalvin Cook being healthy. I'm happy for them. I'm really happy for them. Can they win the Super Bowl? No. Are they going to be in the NFC Championship? No. But are they going to win the NFC North? Do they look really good? Do they have a lot of good weapons? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I kind of feel like they're in the same situation as the Lions in the fact that they have all the pieces except for the quarterback. They got the coach, though. That's the only difference. They got the defense and they have a coach, which Lions don't have, but they need a quarterback. If they get a quarterback, woo! Look out for them. Boy, wait, I never considered this. Could Lamar Jackson go to the Vikings? No, right? No chance. Oh, that'd be bad. How about the Packers losing to the Bills? I get the Bills are the best, blah, 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 blah. But the Packers are actually bad. And I was talking to a Packer friend of mine. I have friends. So I was talking to a Packer friend of mine. And he was talking about how, it's kind of funny how the Broncos stink with Hackett. And now the Packers stink without Hackett. Do you think if I sat Hackett down and I told him, I was like, hey, you can You can do this over again. You can still stay the Packers offensive coordinator, win 13 games and lose an NFC championship game, and you don't have to deal with this circus. Do you think he takes that deal? Because I know I would. Nice. I don't know. It just feels like they both stink now, and they kind of need each other to get it back. Because their offense can't figure it out. I get it. They don't have any wide receivers, blah, 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 blah. But the play calling is bad. I mean, their play calling is very bad on the offensive side of the ball. And I get it. I'm overreacting because it's the Bills, and the Bills are great, and they can win the Super Bowl, even though they have to go through Patrick Mahomes at home, and Patrick Mahomes has never lost to the Bills, is what I've been told. But I'm just like, I wonder if Hackett would take that deal. I really do. The one thing that did stand out to me, though, this weekend was the 49ers. They go to St. Louis. They go to Los Angeles. That's a ricochet shot for Rams fans. They go to Los Angeles with their new running back, Christian McCaffrey, and Jimmy G, and they win big. They win big. Now, I know that I'm biased because I do like Kyle Shanahan, but I really like these 49ers. And I would not be surprised if it's the 49ers in Philadelphia for the NFC Championship game. I know everybody's high on the Eagles, and I'm high on the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, Marcus Mariota, Lamar Jackson. I love those three quarterbacks. I'm just saying, that could be your NFC Championship game, and I wouldn't be surprised. I love Kyle Shanahan. I actually, funny enough, behind closed doors, root against the 49ers so that Kyle Shanahan can get fired so the Lions can pick him up, because I would love Kyle Shanahan. Love. All right, I'm wearing my Tennessee sweatshirt. College football. Let's talk about it. Tennessee vlog coming out today/tomorrow. It'll come out Wednesday. It'll be out Wednesday. Great trip, fun atmosphere. Neyland is electric. It was the best pregame I think I've ever experienced. I mean, it was amazing. Best national anthem. It was awesome. I'll talk more about that in the vlog, which is coming out on Wednesday. It was a great game. It wasn't a good game. It was just a great atmosphere. Obviously, Tennessee rolled them. So with that being said, here's my top 6 in college football right now, and let me know what yours is. Number 1, I obviously have to go with Tennessee. They look fantastic. They've won the most games. They've beaten the best players. They beat the best teams. Number 1, Tennessee. Number 2, I got to go with Georgia. So I got 1-2 this weekend facing off in Georgia, and I like Tennessee to win that game. Number 3, I have Ohio State. And number 4, I have Michigan. I think they're both really good. I think I still like Ohio State in that game, but not by as much as I thought I would. Number 5, I have Clemson. And number 6, I have Oregon. I think Oregon's starting to figure it out, and I think Clemson's starting to figure it out. I might be biased because I like Bo Nix and DJ Uiagalelei, but I'm very interested to see what happens. I'm also going to be very interested to see what happens if Tennessee loses to Georgia, then Georgia loses to Alabama, and they have 3 one-loss SEC teams. Because Paul Feinbaum's show is going to be crazy with, hey, Paul, I think we should have 3 SEC teams in the Final Four. I think that's going to be every phone caller at the Paul Feinbaum show. It's going to be crazy. God, I hope that doesn't happen. And if you're asking, by the way, if you're asking, oh, what about TCU? Where's TCU on your list? By the way, I have Alabama at 7. I've got TCU at 8. Okay? Just saying. TCU hasn't beaten a starting quarterback until this week, and they barely covered against West Virginia, who, by the way, is trying to fire their coach. I'm not high on TCU just yet. Also, I blogged on yesterday, about the Auburn job. Look, Brian Harsin gets fired. Everybody knew that was coming. They need to get Deion Sanders. He is an absolute perfect fit for him. It's unbelievable. I think he can win a lot of good recruits. I think Auburn is willing to cheat a little bit to help him out. Not saying that Deion's a cheater. I love Deion. Deion's my favorite. If he went to Nebraska, if he went to Lincoln, I would kill for that. I just don't think it's a perfect fit for him. I think it's a perfect fit for him at Auburn. Perfect. He's going to be great there. I really hope they sign him. That'd be great. All right, World Series, obviously, last night, Monday night, it obviously got postponed due to rain. It's 1-1. Philadelphia down 5-0, and they come all the way back to win Game 1. Astros handled their business Game 2. I love the Astros this series. I think they win. I think they're so good. I think the Philadelphia Phillies have that like team of destiny feel, but it just stinks because I really want to root for Philly, but I'm sorry, I really want to root for the Astros, but the other team is the Philadelphia. I mean, the Phillies are making me root for the Astros. If the Astros did not cheat, it would be so easy to root for the Astros. They have Justin Verlander, Altuve's fun, Bregman's fun to root for, Yordan Alvarez is great, but it's hard to get the fact that they cheated and they got a slap on the wrist, and Shoeless Joe Jackson got banned from baseball for what he did. It's just hard. It's hard for me to look at that and be like, boy, they really got the fair punishment there. I don't know. Whoever wins. I don't really care. I'm just glad it's not somebody that really, truly affects me in my personal life. You know, like if the Cubs win and all my friends are Cubs fans. Just happy about that, you know? All right, final thoughts. All right, all right. Final thoughts. I need to know if I'm a bad person, okay? I'm taking a flight from Nashville to Phoenix, but they have a connecting flight in Columbus, flying Southwest, okay? There's a guy behind me that's belligerently drunk. He's been bothering some people, and he's taking and it's one of those deals where everybody gets off the flight except for the people that are connecting to Phoenix, right? So the plane is empty. We've got about 6 people, okay? This guy's belligerently drunk, okay? I'm just trying to set up the scenario. He is sitting right behind the exit row. Then he puts himself in the exit row. Flight attendant says, "Excuse me, sir, you can't do that. You're clearly drunk and you can't be in the exit row." So he moves back into the row behind the exit row. Then the flight attendant leaves, and then he sneaks into the exit row. The flight attendant goes, "Sir, I told you once, you can't do that." So then he sits back in the row behind, okay? Fine. And apparently he was a little bit obnoxious to other passengers, okay? From the flight from Nashville to Columbus. Right, so then I use the restroom, and I go in, and there's vomit, everywhere. I don't mean to get graphic, but there's vomit everywhere. I go up to the stewardess, and I go, "Hey, man, this sucks, and I don't want to be a jerk here, but there's vomit everywhere in that bathroom." And there was, okay? So then they kick the guy off the flight who's clearly drunk, and it's clearly his vomit. It's clear as day it's his vomit. So after they get done with that, they get a new round of stewardess. They get a new flight crew. One of the stewardess comes up to me and hands me a drink coupon and says, "Hey, thanks for being a good passenger." That's blood money. That's blood money. That's blood money, right? I just feel bad. Don't give me that. I was put in an awkward position. I had to tell, don't give me blood money for being a snitch, all right? I feel bad already. I just need somebody to tell me that I'm not the jerk here. It just fell in my lap, all right? It fell in my lap. He gave me 3, I used 2. Okay, there you go. You want to know the truth? That's what happened. All right, make sure you like and subscribe. We got a vlog coming out on Wednesday, live stream on Saturday. Super excited about that. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you like and subscribe this video on YouTube and comment Pierce, it's free. If you like and subscribe and send it to me on TikTok, Instagram, or on Twitter, and you send me the screenshot, I will give you a personalized thank you. I would appreciate it. I appreciate it a ton. If you're listening to this on the podcast, make sure you download the podcast and make sure you subscribe. I really appreciate that. Just helps grow this podcast. It's coming. We're super excited. And I say we because we have DetroitPierce.com. We're starting a blog. We're starting a lot of cool stuff. So with that being said, thank you for listening. God bless. Go Detroit Sports.